Batman vs. Batman, the grand finale to the Zoronar saga is here. I'll give you the quick rundown so you know what's important. Batman made another version of himself within his own mind, the Ultimate Batman, who eventually took control of Batman's body and then downloaded himself into the robot known as Failsafe. He then imprisoned Bruce Wayne, who eventually broke out and has been coming up with a new plan to finally stop Robot Batman. Robot Batman has taken over Gotham City and kind of created a militaristic police state out of it. But Bruce knows this isn't right, which brings us to today's last issue in this storyline, Batman 148. Tim lowers himself into the cave. His feet touch the ground as he moves through the shadows until he finds Bruce, finishing his preparations. Bruce, are you ready? Tim asks. Bruce pauses for a moment before nodding and turning to his sidekick. Call everyone, Tim. Call the family. It's time, Bruce tells him. Meanwhile, at the manor, Damian is pinned to the wall. Zoranar's new Robin robot is smiling at him. I'm going to kill you. I'll be quick, I promise. Damian growls at him and this new Robin smirks, pointing out that that's what's wrong with Batman and his family. It's all out of control. This city of murderers, we're going to stop it, make it right, this Robo-Robin says. But Damian just smiles, pointing out that Zoronar and his sidekick are already doomed. He begins to tap in Morse code, trying to warn the family. But he's suddenly hit by a blast of electricity. He turns to find Zoronar has entered the room. Remember, his soldiers are more than their utility belts, Zor tells his sidekick, explaining that the taser should have fried all of the electronics in Damian's suit and belt. But the two of them are interrupted as Capitolo enters the room. It's time to test the machine. What do you say, Batman? Capitolo says, and Zoronar nods his robotic head. Let's cure Gotham. Elsewhere in the city, it has begun. The failsafe drones have locked down the tunnels and bridges leading into Gotham City. Marin Okano is shouting at Commissioner Vandal Savage on the phone, demanding the new commissioner do something about it. Well, apparently, Batman's child soldiers are attempting to stop him. Savage points out, explaining that he has taken the full might of the police force to Zoranar's prison. At the prison, Edward Nygma is looking up at the machine that he is strapped into. I don't like this riddle, he says softly, but Zoronar shakes his head. No riddle, Nygma, we're going to cure you of your constant desire to prove yourself through malice. Zoronar explains, Capitolo smiling as he activates the machine. You should be proud, we wanted to test it on someone with a strong mind. He says, as Edward begins to scream, with energy coursing through his mind and body. Back in the manor, Damian and Robin are watching on the screen. It won't work, curing these monsters, Damian snaps. Meanwhile, at the hidden cave, Dick and Barbara question whether they can trust Bruce Wayne, since they're undecided if after everything that has happened, they can follow Bruce again. But Jason steps out of the shadows. You're not the one he brainwashed. If I'm willing to hear him out, I think you can too. Jason says, dropping into a hole. Tim stands before them all in the cave, explaining that the robot in Gotham isn't the true Batman. None of this is Bruce's fault, Tim explains, but Bruce calls to them from the shadows, stepping into the light, revealing himself in his new suit to his family. Bruce, is that really you? It is, Dick, and I'm so sorry. He explains everything to the family, telling them how he created Zoronar, in his mind as a fail-safe to protect his mission. But Zoronar began to influence him, forcing him to push the family away, believing that they were what was weakening Batman. But I need you all, not just for my damned mission. You're my family. You give me hope when the darkness creeps in, Bruce tells them. He then looks to Jason with an apology, but Jason puts a hand on his shoulder. It's all right, Bruce, none of us can change the past. But we atone, we work on ourselves, we move forward as a family. Jason says, the rest of the family gathering around him, telling Bruce that they are in. I'm assuming you've got a plan, Dick says to him, and Bruce nods. I'm Batman, aren't I? They move quickly, Savage and the police heading towards the prison, now aligned with Amanda Waller in the full might of the US military. Oracle is parked in the city, hacking into Zoranar's systems to give the family a chance to get into place. Tim moves to rescue Damian, while Jason and Dick are slipping into the prison. Be safe out there, gang. Let's pray our distraction works, Dick says over the comms. The police screech to a halt, setting up a perimeter outside of the prison as the rain pours from the sky. With the flutter of a cape sounding into the night, Batman lands before the entrance. He doesn't look back, but Savage watches as he enters the prison. Batman stalks through the shadows, unobstructed before reaching Zoronar, the robot holding out his arms, motioning to Capitio and the villains that have been plugged into the machine. Welcome. It's fitting that you watch this in person, as I fix all of your mistakes in a single moment. Zoronar says. Batman doesn't say a word. Red Hood leaps out of the shadows, his blade cutting along Zoronar's metal skin. Surprise, Batbot, Red Hood snarls. Deeper in the prison, Nightwing is plugging Oracle into Zoronar's systems, giving her full access. Hopefully I can shut down Zoronar's security and kill his whole experiment. When you're done, get to Bruce as quickly as you can, Dick. He's going to need all the help that he can get, Oracle reports. Meanwhile, Tim has arrived at the manor, slipping through the window and crossing the room to Damian, ripping off his gag, expecting a thanks. You idiot, he's behind, Damian shouts at Tim. Robo-Robin whirls through the air, kicking Tim hard, knocking him to the ground. Tim Drake rolls up, looking at Robo-Robin in shock. Oh my god, you're him. Zer. He cloned Bruce. Tim gasps, and the young Bruce Wayne leaps across the room, and the two Robins begin to trade blows. Who else could he trust but himself? The young Bruce Wayne sneers. At the prison, Bruce and Jason are fighting off Zoronar, trading blows with robotic Batman. But as Jason moves in for the killing blow, Zoronar whirls, kicking him away, his metallic tendrils lashing out, cracking Bruce across the face. He staggers away, and Batman realizes that Capitolo is activating his machine. Red Hood, stop Daniel, Batman shouts as he throws the grenade, throwing himself back at the robot Batman. Over in the manor, Tim is quickly losing to this new Robin. I'm the best part of Bruce Wayne. His training, his skills, his relentless pursuit of justice. The young Bruce Wayne gloats, and Tim takes a kick, but manages to throw his Robin throwing stars. One slipping through young Bruce's defenses, cutting through Damian's bonds. Breaking free, Damian launches himself across the room, tackling the clone of his father. It is an ending need to talk things through. Damian growls as he begins to wail on the clone. He staggers with the clone, and Tim rushes in, kicking him hard in the jaw, knocking him out. The two young heroes look down at the fallen clone. Two Robins against one, he never stood a chance. And Damian glares at Tim. I didn't need saving drink. I had 3 plans I was working on. Damian explains as Tim ties up the clone. Back at the prison, Jason rushes forward, but Capitio suddenly whirls on him, kicking him hard in the face, knocking Jason back. Capitio then presses his attack, gloating that he isn't a mild-mannered psychiatrist. But Jason blocks the blow, punching Capitio in the face, shrugging. I'm just here to shut you down, or at least keep you busy until someone else shuts you down. Suddenly, the machine stops working and Capitio stares for a moment. Huh, the handiwork of Ms. Barbara Gordon, I assume. Are you so truly against curing your enemies? Is that really where you should be focusing your energies while your father is murdered? Capitio asks, motioning to where Zoronar is continuing to hit Bruce again and again. Red Hood launches himself at the Batbot, but Zoronar doesn't hesitate. He whirls around, hitting Red Hood hard in the jaw, hard enough to break his mask, knocking him across the floor, slamming him into the wall. Hard enough to kill him. Bruce gets to his feet, rushing across the room. Jason, no, 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 my boy. My son. Bruce whispers as he looks into Jason's lifeless eyes. Zoronar stalks forward, his victory assured. This is your weakness, who you've surrounded yourself with. Soldiers in a way they've never understood, and now one is dead because of you. Zoronar stops, his last word stuttering as his eyes glow. Because of me, Batman. Zoronar begins to state. Batman stands, turning to the machine. Welcome back, failsafe. Batman growls. Capitio is confused, backing away. Batman explains. Batman doesn't kill, and if he does, he has to face the consequences. Batman says as he launches forward, kicking Failsafe in the chest, bringing the machine down for good. He reaches down, pulling free the wires, deactivating the Batman robot. He turns to Capitio, explaining that when Zoronar took over the robot, he did not rewrite the original Failsafe coding, instead placing his consciousness over it. So when Zoronar took a life, the Failsafe program reasserted itself. Capitio looks almost impressed as he stares at Batman. The Bruce I knew would never sacrifice one of his own for the mission, and yet, here you are, finally making the tough decisions. All I have to say is, Vespertilio, ex progress grimi. Capitio says the words, ripping through Bruce's mind as he falls to his knees. Capitio punches him in the face, explaining that he put the safe word in Bruce's mind during their training years ago. Never sure when he would need it, just like with the Joker. And when Batman rolls over, he's smart. Because Bruce, he planned this. It was back in the cave when he explained everything to Jason, that he was going to get Zur-En-Arrh to kill him, in hopes that his suit would revive him with the last of the Lazarus. Jason shook his head, explaining that it was too important for Bruce to leave it up to chance. It had to be him, so Bruce could bring him back without chance. Behind Capitio, Jason gets to his feet. Capitio whirls, looking at him in surprise as the rest of the Bat family gathers. Oh, don't ask, no surprise. After all, I had some practice at dying. Jason explains with a smile. Nightwing rushes forward, punching Capitio hard, bringing him down. There's a moment of peace as Damian rushes to his father, hugging him. Bruce smiles at his son. I'm so damn happy to see you, son. Bruce says softly, but the building suddenly shakes as the ceiling explodes inwards. The comms crackle to life as Oracle warns them of Savage and the military's approach. All right, head out to the laundry room. 6 doors down on the right. The ventilation shaft there will give us an exit. Bruce says to the others, and they rush to the room. He turns to join them, but Capitio calls to him from the floor. This was nothing. This was a slip. You think you stopped the storm, but I can see it all, Bruce. I know it's coming. It's a storm like you've never experienced, Capitio says in a smile. A storm isn't made of one thing. It's an idea, made up of parts working together. You lost today because you were fighting all of us. We're the storm. Batman growls, rushing from the room to join his family as they leap into the shadows of the Where the Night. And that concludes the Zur-En-Arrh storyline, the entire mind bomb, fail-safe everything.